Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you seem to think you are. Let us all come into this moment now, remembering that now is the only time that is. Nothing else is. So let it all go and breathe and be here now. So, in your calendar year, which is a fabrication, as you know, it's new, supposedly or seemingly new. We were going to say Happy New Year, but the better way of saying it is actually like our tune-in now. Happy New Now. And in fact, every moment is a new now, as you so elect it to be so, you see. You can get wrapped up in the day-to-day, forget that you have a mind, or even that you have a choice in how to think. You might go about your experience forgetting altogether. Well, really, that's what happened right away. You seem to come into this new experience, the dream state, which it is different from your natural state, which is mind or spirit. You see, we say your natural state is in the mind of God, and it never has changed. In fact, you only think that you left. You only think that you were cast out, but you weren't. You still remain forever in the eternal now, which is the mind of God. Mind of God is the mind of love, the mind of peace, the mind of clarity, and the mind of truth. In the dream, you forget about this. Like we were saying, you get caught up in your day-to-day. You believe practically everything that you see with your physical eyes. You believe practically everything you hear. You really think that what is being told to you from these outside seeming sources are telling you something. We want you to realize nothing. It is nothing. There is nothing at all in this experience that is actually truth. Does that make sense to everyone? Some things might be more or less true on the level of form, like these are facts, such as the fact that you seem to experience gravity. Okay, that's just a general agreed upon thought that is held you to the earth, held you together in form, all of that. But really, none of it is anything. In the beginning, you said, I shall go forth and test all these things, see what it would be like to be what I would think is as the outside of the mind of God. Well, how will that be? What kinds of things can I do? But it was very frightening to you, so you said, oh my God, I need something to hang on to. I know, I'll make something up. And that thing that you made up was the ego. So we go on and on with that, as you do know. But what we want is for you to begin to wake up. That is always going to be the case, you see. So, like we were saying, it's the new now, not so much a new year. The new now, what is it that you're going to change in your mind? What are you going to choose differently in this new now that you possibly did not before? And we want to remind you your goal has never changed, really. The goal is still inner peace, which is forgiveness and releasing and so on. That still remains the same. So what this new now is just a continuation of the same practice. It's just that it gets deeper. You become more eager about it. It feels more solid in your experience as you continue to practice it. And of course, as you go through your day to day, like we were saying, you get thrown off here and there, and then you remember, wait a second, I don't have to remain in that state of mind. I don't have to remain feeling like that. Feelings are simply a state of mind and a decision. And that decision you can always change. And that's the practice. It's not to beat yourself up when you forget, but it's to notice when you forget and to say, geez, there I go again. Well, I'm going to stop, take a moment, recollect my mind, and set it straight on the path to peace now. And in that you forgive, in that you let go, in that you open yourself to truth, and you let truth lead you forward. That means let go of your judgment. Lighten up. Don't take it seriously. So, and breathe. We've got lots more to say, and we'll be saying it throughout this session. But we are here, and you are as well.
Lord Jesus, the first question is from George. And George asks, I keep seeing these books about conversations that the authors have been having with Jesus, and I can't help thinking, how come they get to talk to you? There must be dozens out there by now. I know the answer is Jesus is talking to you all the time, but I, for some reason, can't hear anything. I know it's my problem, but I do not know how to fix it. It really makes me sad because the experience is, or at least the feeling is, I am not worth it to you, Jesus. I'm not good enough to be able to talk to you, Jesus. Can you help with this?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So the first thing that we are going to make note of, and we want you to think about, is that you are actually comparing yourself to others, looking at their material that they perhaps received, or talk about their experiences of conversing with us. And you say, these other people out there have this experience with you, Jesus, that I don't seem to have. And I'm just not worthy enough to have those experiences. So right there, you told yourself that. And that's what you believe. So rather than saying, well, that's interesting, this is the way this person is experiencing Jesus. I can have this experience as well. It might not be the same. It may not be the same, but I'm open to anyway. And so I'm letting go of my tendency to compare my experience to others. Another thing we want to point out, we come through in many ways. Have you had the feeling or an experience of a thought, an intuitive or a knowing within? And you received that within yourself and said, it's like a hunch, and I'm just going to go for it. Have you?
Yes.
Okay, that's spirit talking to you. See?
So I shouldn't be looking for words. I should be looking for feelings.
Exactly. That just that intuitive knowing, that spark within doesn't always come in the form of words.
I can work on that.
Beautiful. So
Thank
let
you.
go of all the thinking, I've got to read these books and it has to be like that. It doesn't always come in like that.
You know, what's frustrating is the manual for teachers tells us that words are 2 steps away from reality. And then if I'm
Yes,
studying someone else's words, now I'm 3 steps away from reality.
absolutely, or even 10.
Yeah, and my job is to overcome the world, and it's just, man, it's hard, you know.
Your job is to make peace with the world and release yourself. You see, and that's
Yeah,
overcoming the world.
right. I can work on that for a while.
Wonderful.
I'll be back with another question, I'm sure.
Beautiful. We'll work on that.
Okay, I love you.
We love you too. Yes.
This next question is from Kristen. And Kristen asks, is it possible to learn to create healing miracles for animals? If so, do you have any guidance you would like to share? Thank you very much.
So yes, indeed, we have lots to share with you about this. And it's going to go in directions that you might not have thought. So you're saying you want to know how to create a healing experience for animals. Well, we want you to look at that thought. There's nothing wrong with wanting to heal animals and that feeling of wanting to nurture and all of that. It's just that you want to step back and say, what is it that I'm actually here to look at? For I am not separate from anyone or anything. So to give a healing, which is actually simply providing the way for healing to occur, does not come from you. You are not creating anything. You are simply a pathway for healing to enter. We want you first to understand that you, if you are the healer, are not separate from the healee. So let's say you have an animal that you see or perceive as ill. You want to look first at, let's say it like this. There's a couple ways we want to say it. So first of all, let's say it has to do with an animal that has been diagnosed with something. So it's not like I'm looking at an animal and that animal looks sick. I want you to say, okay, here is an animal and I see that it has a diagnosis. Well, you have to look at the thoughts that come up within your own mind about the diagnosis. Not about the animal and how the animal feels about the diagnosis because they don't know about the diagnosis. They just simply are, meaning they just are animals. So they're not thinking about, well, gee, I have this. No. So you look at your own mind. How did you interpret the diagnosis? What feelings came up when you saw that diagnosis? And those feelings are the things that need healing, meaning it's your own mind, your own thoughts that are the thoughts in need of healing. Does that make sense?
So I think so, but I think I have a question. Is it more to do with so on one hand, I thought about her diagnosis and I thought, oh no, there's no way she can be leaving me. I can't have this. And I start grasping at straws to make it not so. And then on the other hand, do you mean the diagnosis as in, okay, she has congestive heart failure? What happened in my world that could have manifested or co-created this?
So we'll talk about all of that. So the first part was, what was the first part again?
So the first part was my initial reaction was, oh, like, and maybe this
That's right. You said grasping, oh, you can't leave me.
And maybe that's me being attached to the dream of not wanting it to change.
Right. So that is one thing right there. Okay, you don't want to let the animal go. Well, it's not up to you.
Mm,
Because if the animal wants to go, it's going to go, and it will go in any way that it does. So the healing is not necessarily going to be a physical healing of the animal getting better on the level of form, you see. Like, okay, the body is healed. Okay, that's great. But there's still a lot going on in your mind. So you feel as though, well, I want her body to be well so that I can still feel comfortable with her presence and the lovingness that happens between pets and owners. That's normal. But it is something to work on where you say, well, I do not know what this is for.
mm,
And I don't know what it is you need.
mm,
And I can't know what you need because that's entirely up to you and your experience, you see.
mhm,
So I want you to be healed. But it isn't the animal itself that needs healing. In truth, the animal is completely whole.
mm.
There is no illness in the mind of God. But your thought is ill.
Yep.
And so you have to make peace with the diagnosis. I don't know how this is going to go. I would love for your body to be well. I would love to have more time with you. But then you have to really look at this and say, I also want you to be free.
Mm,
And maybe it's not the way that I want it.
mhm,
I want you to be healed, and I'm going to trust that the healing will occur in whatever form it needs to. And that might be a transition, you see.
um, do they sort of get to, do they have a choice in the matter if they want to stay or go?
Absolutely.
Um,
And you'll know by the results going forward, you see.
It is interesting. I felt towards the end because I had been sort of grasping again, like just grasping at like, no, you have to stay with me. And I did end up having to put her down, but I I did notice at the end there, I was trying to find a way to heal her, and I did get the impression that the healing that needed to happen was with me
Absolutely.
because I was so discombobulated from the idea of losing her, and
Losing her.
it was no longer going to be of benefit to her, but it needed to happen for me.
Exactly. And that's the thought you need to look at, you see. And what we are here to help you with is that. Is to say, well, I don't know what is best in this situation. It might not be that she stay with me. That might not be part of my soul's lesson either, you see. For form is not true or real.
Hmm.
And what happens to bodies does not matter. Because every body, in truth, there is no body. Everything, every spirit is eternal.
Hmm.
So whether the form has to go, spirit remains. It is constant. It is eternal.
And perhaps it's a lesson for me too of um, sort of disengaging from my perception of the dream by losing her after the fact. It's not, I mean, it's still painful, but perhaps it's also meant to like loosen my grip of reality. I don't know.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is
Mhm.
saying, well, in truth, we're all one, and no one is ever lost.
Mm.
No one ever dies. I have a hard time feeling that in form, because my experience is so form related. You see, you're accustomed to other bodies with voices coming through, and it seems lonely without bodies.
Mm.
But that's only because that's what you're used to.
Mm.
But if you begin to let go of that thought of there has to be a body for me to feel whole, letting go of that, you'll find so much relief
Mm.
on so many levels. Because in truth, you are already whole.
Thank you. That just answered
You're
all
welcome.
the questions. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Another thing we'd like to mention about this is that way of thinking, that what the diagnosis was saying, and that tendency when you are in the metaphysical environment, you think, what did I do or what did I think to cause this to happen? You didn't. You
Mm.
do not cause the illness of anyone or anything. You can't. You see, and it isn't something you can grasp with words or completely understand. But you are not the cause of physical bodies having experiences, unless you physically walked up to someone and punched them in the face or something like that. That's just factual. But on the level of mind, these things are just, this is a dream. Bodies come and go. They seem to live and they seem to die, but really they've never been at all. So never think that your thoughts can create somebody's illness. It has been thought that before and believed before, but it's not true. It isn't true. So,
Thank you. It was interesting because when I adopted her, um, all of her health problems began, and so I did think it was my fault. Like I was like, is it something about me and my stress? Am I bringing like I didn't understand. So thank you for saying that.
absolutely. See, sometimes you might adopt an animal and not know that it has
Mm.
preconditions, you see, things going on. Perhaps you together, you chose each other to simply love, no matter what, you see, no matter what. And that love is eternal. Her spirit is always with you.
Thank you. The next question is from Neil. And Neil asks, Dear Jesus, I know that fear is the opposite of love, but isn't it natural to fear for the safety of our loved ones? I try to put the future in the hands of God, and yet some fear remains. Also, what is the difference between an angel and an archangel? Thank you.
So we're going to begin with the first part. The angels we'll deal with after we get to this fear and love. Fear. Fear is not a natural response to anything. It is a natural response of the ego. Because the ego wants to always protect things like itself, and it always fears that it will be annihilated. And part of it includes your family, you see. So the ego says, I am you, and you are everything you experience. And if everything you experience were in danger, that's terrible, because then I might actually die. That's the ego. Love is horrifying because I definitely don't exist in it. You see. So when there is love, there is no ego. That's terrifying to the ego. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does, Jesus. And but sometimes, like in the evening, I after the day's work, I get very tired, and it seems like I'm more susceptible to negativity when I'm really tired.
That's so normal. Meaning you're not alone in that. It's actually pretty common. That's what we mean by normal.
Well, and then sometimes, and I always think of you before I fall asleep. In fact, last night when I was feeling kind of negative, and I could sense it was my ego talking to me, then I heard you say to me, well, just thank God that the ego doesn't have the last word.
Absolutely.
And that was very reassuring. So then I fell asleep.
It's a good place to fall asleep in.
Yeah, I really love that. But then during the night, I had, is it the ego comes back? I have these awful dreams. It seems I often have dreams that I don't like. I wake up being afraid of these dreams, like something bad will happen or something is fearful, and I'll wake up in it for a moment. I believe it, like I wake up as, oh, this terrible thing is happening, and then it takes me a few moments of being awake that I say, oh, that was just a dream. That's silly. There's nothing to be afraid of. It was just a dream. But why do those dreams come like that, Jesus?
Subconscious. Stuff in the subconscious. So perhaps there is something in your mind you haven't looked at, that there is this hidden fear that is nothing at all. Like you said, this is the ego. It is. It's the ego. That kind of fear is the ego. Actually, it's all fear is the ego. So
we don't have to put a lot of stock in that. We can
not
just
at all.
kind
So
of,
if you have a dream like that, just say that's just a dream where my subconscious was showing me all the stuff hidden down there. And I don't have to pay much attention to it. I'll just let it go. Just completely let it go.
I often think of your words to lighten up. And
Exactly.
That's
Exactly. And then the other part, place your future in the hands of God, and the fear of doing that, that's the same thing. You can feel how that's the ego, you see, that kind of fear. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yes, it does. And
To,
I
to
also,
take your future out of the ego's hands and place it in God's hands is terrifying to the ego.
so that might make more nightmares because your subconscious is like saying, oh,
That's
we can't
right.
have that.
Exactly. So,
Well, in one of my meditations, I often meditate. In fact, I wrote it down from the Course that, I place the future in the hands of God. And then I extended that and I said, well, why not place the present? Like you said, the now, happy now. Like, let's place the now in the hands of God.
beautiful.
So that's good. That's wonderful to meditate on.
It is, because it puts you in the now.
In other words, we just give it to God. We just give it to you.
That's right. It's just giving it up and saying, here, take this from me and use it to help me remember that love is.
Love is right now.
That's right.
And we don't have to do anything or plan anything
That's right.
or worry about anything.
Definitely not worry. Worry is always of the ego.
There's a lot of fear and worry out there, Jesus, nowadays.
Absolutely.
You know that.
The world is of the ego for the most part. Until you decide to look at it, forgive it all, and say, this is nothing. This is a dream, and I don't have to take it seriously.
And thank God for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
How about the angels and archangels, Jesus?
Yes. Want to talk to you about the angels and archangels in a way that is perhaps different than you have been thinking about them. And that is this: they are not separate from you, and you are not separate from them. In fact, they are part of you, and you are part of them. So, in the beginning, the thought of fear, like what we were talking about, seemed to arise. So, God said, here, have this. And then angels became, you see. And they come to you when you are in need. You could even talk to them and ask them, and they'll come because they're always with you. Angels will say, everyday angels are like spirit. They are spirit. Archangels have a role, you see. See, the archangels play a role, as you can even see them being spoken of in verses and in stories throughout time. And sometimes they are very, very prominent, and their role is very clear. Take Archangel Michael, for example. He's always depicted with this warrior energy, this protector energy. So that is his role. Archangel Raphael, more so healing. So that is his role. Actually, their roles are quite interchangeable, and they can all do it. But for you, we're saying for you, humans who believe in the idea of hierarchies, there had to be something that you could understand, that you could feel safe with. And so God had a thought. And it's funny to say it like this because God doesn't think like this. God doesn't think about, anything just happens, okay? So there is a thought. Here is the request, and here is the answer. There is a belief in hierarchy. Here is the answer. You see. And so the angels play that role. But still, there really is truly no hierarchy.
So Jesus, as we go forward to this new now or new year or new eternity, can you just reassure us that we have these angels and that we have you and we have the Holy Spirit?
Absolutely. That's 100%. That's not even a question. You can know with certainty that you have angels and that I am always with you. Or we are always with you, you see.
Wow. Well, that's certainly very reassuring, Jesus.
Wonderful. There is nothing to worry about because there's nothing here.
Wow, that's...
Of course, your experience when you are identified in your human form, with your human form and the human stories and things that you come across in the news or online, etc., and you're believing yourself a body, these things are going to be very frightening. They might feel like, oh my God, how am I going to protect myself against this? Or this one's going to be really dangerous and I don't know what to do. And all of these worries. If you look at it, you rise above it, just like rising above the battleground, because it is a battleground. You rise above it and you look down and see, oh, it's the same stuff. It's all the nothingness of the ego thought system. If you don't buy into it, it has no effect.
Well, thank you, Jesus. You've given me something to really buy into, which is
Wonderful.
you. And I was thinking of that. I have this Bible club at my school and they're really nice kids in the high school. And I'm going to ask them next week when they meet, I'm going to say, what is the most important question that was ever asked? Well, in my opinion. And they're going to say, what? And I'm going to say, remember when Jesus said to Peter, and who do you say that I am? No, that's what the scriptures say.
Yes.
And to me, Jesus, that is the most important question ever asked, because that means you're asking us that. You ask all of us that. Who do you say that I am? And when we think about that and who you are and who the Holy Spirit is in God, then we know where to put our faith and to take it away from the ego and to put our faith in you and the
That's right.
Spirit.
And
We can
then,
bank on that.
that's right. And then you come and realize that we are one with you.
Thank you so much, Jesus. Thank you so much.
Thank you as well, as always. Yes.
Catherine asks, I have had so many delays on building and renovating my new house that I am now doubting the wisdom of this all while trying to choose peace instead of the chaos and to hold a higher frequency. I am hoping that this phase is now sorted. Please, can you comment on why this has occurred, as I feel I have done a lot of work on myself over time? Is there something I need to do or action? I have been sending the land my love, that neighborhood my care and love. I need the builders to start within weeks, if not days, on my creative project.
Well, it's kind of like what we were saying to the participant with the cat. You see, sometimes situations arise in this dream world that creates a little bit of or seems to make friction in plans. And it really is not something to be upset about, but it is an opportunity to work with that and see the things you can let go of, meaning your own projections on the whole thing, which are your judgments. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. No, thank you. Hi, everybody. Happy New Year. I just am feeling it's been going on for 18 months now, so lots of obstacles, and I've been told there's a ley line running under there and all sorts of things, and it just, you try and, as you say, rise above the battleground, higher your frequency so that you can attract the people that you need. And it feels like I'm not quite getting there, and there's a piece of the puzzle missing. And yeah, I feel like just selling it and moving on, to be honest.
And that might be the thing to do. You see, here's the thing, you don't actually attract people. Okay, that's one way of thinking of it, and that's you don't actually attract anyone. You have experiences where you seem to meet with those who are just in that frequency at that moment, And it is not an attraction thing, it just is natural. And what seems to be going on with this is maybe there needs to be a change, you see. Change in how you look at it, and also a change in possibly even the way you go about it. Does that make sense?
Could you elaborate for me, please,
Well,
how you go about it?
we don't know what your situation is, so to speak, meaning we are not able to tell you what to do, as in where to go or anything like that. But is it something that is already locked in? Meaning that piece of land is your only place.
Yes, well, it is so I'm living with my son, but I need to get into my own house. So I own that, and I got it so I could grow vegetables, go live a more simple life and have chickens and all sorts. So it's a bit more rural. And so that's what I wanted to do, just to live a simple life, run away from everybody, and have a nice, calm life. And this offered me this opportunity, but it needs a lot of repairs. And this is why I need the builders.
So you got to look at it in two ways. Okay, so those are the circumstances into which you are entering, and also look at why you're doing it. I want to run away from everything and live a simple life out in the country.
Yes, exactly.
What are you
Choose peace
avoiding?
instead of this.
But you have to learn to choose peace no matter what. Whether you are in a busy city or in the backwoods, you see. Does that make sense?
It does. I thought I have been um, pretty on it with trying to choose peace instead of this.
So when you get upset, you're not choosing peace.
Clearly. So is there anything I can do to sort of like move this project on forward?
Well, you have to make
Like,
peace with the way that it's going and say, well, if this is the place that I'm going to live, I'm going to have to be patient.
okay.
And that will feel better. The ego is in a rush. The ego is in such a rush. We got to get it done right now. If we don't get it done right now, I'm going to pull my hair out.
I think 18 months, to be fair, is a good innings to wait. Uh, that's why I want to pull my hair out. All right, no, so just got to be patient. I think it will be lovely once it's done. But
And that's beautiful. We told the channel years ago that patience affords miracles.
okay, I'll remember that. Thank you very much. I'm not the
You're
most
welcome.
patient person.
You got to work on that. That's the lesson.
Ah, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's been a bit painful. It's taken.
Well, you got to work on it. Take it lighter.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So, yes.
Catherine's question reminded me of something we went through years ago, and I'm just wondering how you discern. So if it's something that you really, really want, and you let go of your impatience about something that's delaying, perhaps clarity comes,
Yes.
and a miracle.
And then the
happen.
clarity is the miracle,
Yeah.
you see. And there's a misunderstanding of what a miracle really is. Miracle is a shift in perception. So where once you're feeling, I can't do this anymore, and this is hell, and I'm angry, and I'm gonna cry, and all of that stuff. The shift is, I can be at peace instead of this. I can really choose to see this differently.
Because it seems to me that you flow with what is.
Exactly.
And I mean, our experience was we were pushing against.
That's right.
And I mean, eventually things did work out, but I'm just wondering, you know, the flowing with what is, even if it does, the delay still goes on. You can just flow.
You can just flow with it and you'll feel better.
Yeah.
And then who knows, other things come along
Mm-hmm.
that'll help you even more.
You let go your
Exactly.
attachment,
And
even though it's
needing
what
it
you
to
want.
needing it to be a certain way. It has to be like this or it's not going to make me feel satisfied. Well, you're going to always run into roadblocks
Mm-hmm.
for the most part.
Right.
Whereas if you just go with the flow, something better might come up or maybe you'll change your mind completely. Say, that's not it, we'll do this instead.
Mm-hmm.
So you let yourself be free, you see.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it.
Okay, thank you for the clarity on that.
You're very welcome, and thank you for the question. So we see there are no more questions. But what a wonderful way to end this session is to move forward into this seeming year, seeing it as an opportunity to be more present in the now, more centered in truth, and letting go more and more every moment. Just release, 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 and you are free. We love you all. It is always wonderful to come together with you all. And know this, release is the same as forgiveness. Release and forgiveness are the same. Breathe into that. Take that thought into your experience. We love you all eternally, and we are with you all forever. Namaste.